Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Altcoin Mastery. My name's Carl Stagel and we're going to go over a quick little video on how to short the market. A few people have been asking me in the poll that I ran today just about how to short the market. It seems to be something that a lot of people really don't understand much about, and for some reason seem to think that it's this really hard and difficult thing. Realistically, it's actually a pretty simple process. All it is really is just the complete opposite to what we're looking at when we're going to long the market, right? So basically what we're looking at here is we're going to be looking for short entries. So we're trading on Bitmex, which is a leverage account, obviously. So we need to be careful that we don't get ourselves into a position where we leverage too high, 25 to 100x leverage, and put ourselves in a position where we can get liquidated quite easily. So at the moment, just running some small trades. I've got about 10k on at the moment. So not too much, but just keeping the small trades. I'm just looking for scalps and things like that at the moment, just trying to get some consistent profit out of the market just to build my BTC up. Well, the market's in this really choppy space. It's a little bit ugly at the moment. It's not that easy to make profit right now, so I'm just limiting my risk level at the moment and not being silly by having too much of my money or too much of my Bitcoin on this exchange at the moment. I do generally trade altcoins because I find it's a lot more easier just to trade the altcoin swings, a lot more profitable. So this is my scalping account. At the moment, I've got a short on Bitcoin, which is about 6,000, almost 1 Bitcoin in value. I've got 2,000 on ETH, and I've got about 2,000 contracts on XRP at the moment as well. So here at the moment, we're looking at a Tron short opportunity. So when we're looking at shorts, really easy and simple ways to just use simple trend lines. So right here, we had a little bull flag here, right? That bull flag obviously broke to the upside. So then we would have, let's get this guy out. So then we would have this little area here. You'd want to be, once this breaks to the upside, we would be around here, right? We break to the upside there, and then obviously we're moving up. So that's a long entry there, right? So we would long that every time, a bull flag, and then you break to the upside. You want to be longing that, right? So you'd probably end up with the entry around this level here, and then obviously it finally does get actually confirmed, probably in this space. I can click this thing properly in this space just here, once it breaks the high of this flagpole, and then we're off. And there was a little bit of profit available there on this swing, about 20. If you took it out of the right spot, which is probably this area here, probably 50, could have got 15% off that. Once this breaks through the trend line, that's when we're going to switch to shorting the market. So longing the market is buying, and we're looking for green candles going up. Shorting the market is looking for red candles when they're going to start popping up and going the other way. So obviously this broke the trend line here like it did. We're in a bull pennant on a lot of other trades as well. It broke the bull pennant and then gave us that shorting opportunity here. And then obviously this is about a 10% short available. I actually missed this trade. I didn't take this one because I was focusing on other areas. So for example, Bitcoin, I actually took profits on my trades before because we came into a support zone, and I'll show you that when the chart finishes loading up. So I actually came down into a support zone on Bitcoin here. And we hit my green marker here on the last 4-hour candle, and we started to bounce back up, right? So I took some profit there, not sure what was going to happen. And then at the top here, I actually entered another short, and then I've taken my stop loss and put that just on top there. So, nice and tight stop loss in this market because, it is quite choppy and all over the place. So this is what I saw happening. I saw this, obviously we came down, we bounced back up, and we've hit the resistance level from this candle, a previous candle, and this area here. As you can see, if we zoom right in, it came up and we've tagged the bottom of this candle here, and we haven't gotten past it twice. Then we made a doji, we made another doji here, which is called a hanging man. And so in the hanging man, what you see is the long wick, the red wick underneath a little red body candle. And I see this pattern pop up a lot. You have a green candle, a doji, then a red doji, and then this is followed by a strong red candle following down. So obviously I take the short there. I can leave this here right now, or if I want to be safe and not, remove my chance of getting wrecked in case for some reason the market does decide that this is a really good level here at $6,370 to rebound, which I'm expecting this to get some continuation and continue down here. Who knows, I could be wrong. But yeah, got a little bit of profit here. We're not trading too much at the moment, so nothing too crazy. On ETH/USD, I shorted a few times down here. Shorted to here, took profit. Shorted to here, took profit. As I saw this starting to bounce here on the new 4-hour candle. And then obviously we're making a pretty similar pattern, but a little bit more bearish on this pattern than what we had on BTC. As we can see here, my horizontal support and resistance range, we're breaking down from there. And, we just dropped down to $204 actually. So I was actually planning on putting another trade. So generally when I'm trading ETH, I'm doing about $2,000 per trade at a time. So I'll do 2,000, and then, if I take another trade, I'll do another 2K. Sometimes then I'll take 2K off and take some profit and leave 2K running. And, sometimes, so I go 2K, 2K, 2K. So, you don't ever want to be entering, 4K at a time, and just do your full thing. So I wouldn't be entering in my full amount that I want to trade. So I do 2K here. If this does well and breaks down here and I get another entry, maybe it pops back up after this and goes sideways and looks like it's going to drop again, I'll put another 2K in and then another 2K, and I'll build that up to like 6 or 8K depending, how low we go. If this breaks underneath this line here, you better believe that I'll be loading up again, and I might put like a 4K trade in or something like that if I'm really confident and I'm already well inside my trading range, and I've done I've got a pretty good little amount of profit here, and the trade's playing out well, and it's not going to drop my my average down too low, right? So we always want to be entering our trade in parts. So generally I'll think about the trade in 1 to 4 parts, but I never go all in, all out in one trade, 1 in, 1 out. I'll be like, okay, I might put 2K in. Okay, now I might put another 2K in, so that's got me to 4K, and then I might put another 2K in. That'll take me to 6K, right? Then now I'm in a decently heavy trade for Ethereum, and I can start building up a good amount of cash flow from a trade from that, if we get a decent swing, right? But I'm never going to be like, okay, I'm going to put 8K in, 8K out, because, I'm really only looking to bet up to about 10K at a time on Ethereum, because I don't want to put all my capital into one trade. Otherwise you start ending up, having too much money on the account and you start blowing it. You don't want to be having like losses and getting liquidated for like 5 or 10K at a time. It just starts getting a little bit silly. So, you need to control yourself on these exchanges because they are a lot higher risk. You can get liquidated, which is really painful. You do not want that to happen, because what happens is you lose, obviously, your realized profit and loss. So you lose the trade, and then it also takes your margin that you've put up for the trade as well. It's a pretty nasty hit. So that's why you always want to be using stop losses, right? So saying that, I don't have a stop loss on this trade, so I better put one in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the stop loss. I'm just going to put it above the top of this range high here. So let's put it at 214.75. 214.75. And then I'm going to go to stop market, which will reset this. So 214.75. Set buy stop. Submission error because we're overloaded at the moment. The market's dumping right now. So earlier in our paid signals group, I actually called ETH. When I saw it drop down underneath this flag, which happened this morning at 9 or 10 a.m. or something, and it wasn't going to bounce back above, I called ETH. There was a high chance it's going to drop to 200 or even possibly lower, down to these levels here around that, 195, in a really bad scenario, possibly 180 again we could see. But as you can see, it's really starting to capitulate quite hard. So what I'm going to do is I might move my stop just down to break even, because it's in a pretty good position now. If this does bounce up and it gets above there, I definitely want to be exiting the trade. we're seeing a lot of volume kick into the market right now. You know, so you don't always got to be careful because all of a sudden this can quite quickly wick back in the other direction. So that's why I want to be covering myself off and just moving my stop loss to break even. As you can see, we're starting to wick up a little bit now. People are sort of fighting for the level. So always want to make sure once you get into a good trade and it's going well, you know, this is a few percent, you know, we're about up, you know, 4% right now. So I want to lower my stop loss now and just make sure that I'm securing the level quite nicely. So yeah, this is a little bit on shorting and, you know, how to look for some short entries, and then, you know, make sure you're covering yourself and you're not getting taken out for a loss after a winning trade, because that is the biggest criminal act that you can make as a trader. So yeah, that was just a little bit on how to look for a short entry and how to make a short. We just click the red button instead of the green button, and then make sure you do a buy stop, and make sure when you do buy stop you set it at stop market. I'm going to be running in a lot more in depth on this on the webinar that I'm going to run later in the week or early next week depending on my schedule, but I'll let you guys know all about it. But yeah, just want to do this quick video, update you guys on a little bit of info on how to short the market, and so you guys can make profits if we do break down below these levels that we're looking at Bitcoin at the moment. So, you know, I'm sort of seeing that this play might play out here, and we could drop down to these levels here, which is very similar to, say, this play that we saw happen on about the 20th of June before the last quarter futures close. So quarterly futures closed on the 29th of June, and then we had that big run up, and that sparked the next bull rally that we had to the top of the descending triangle again. So if we do break below this descending triangle here, obviously we're going to be wanting to short the market, because I'm expecting that will probably end up coming down, and we could end up ranging in between you know, that 5k to 3k range for, you know, up to, you know, another 6 months to another year, and see how we go out of that. So yeah, obviously, you know, we'll have to be doing a lot of shorting in that market, in a bear market. So let's see how this plays out. As realistically, anything could happen after the close of futures in a couple of days, which is the 28th of September. So look out for that one. But I'm expecting Bitcoin probably to come down to these levels here. It would be really nice if we could see it actually make a higher high again. Sorry, a higher low again. Oh, I say that wrong. Must be going dyslexic or something. But you know, too much time looking at charts all day, that is for sure. But, you know, if we continue to make these higher lows, you know, it's still a good indication. You know, the trend is sort of in this direction going up at the moment, right? If we can make another higher low around this level here, and then we switch over, futures close, frees up a lot of capital for the big boys, and then we start to move the market up. And then on, you know, the news of backed opening and, you know, Q4 being always bullish and everyone being excited and blah, 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 you know, about Microsoft and the New York Stock Exchange's parent company ICE and Starbucks's their little program they've been working on for 2 years. You know, if they launch that, which is supposed to be launched on the 5th of November, they've been doing it for 2 years. If that does really well, and we start to see a lot of people moving across some money on the institutional front, and, you know, 401ks and superannuation and stuff like that, we could see a little bit of a rally on the news of that happening in October, which could break us out the top of this descending triangle and see us make, you know, a high above 7k, or, you know, even, you know, 7.5k above these last two highs. That would see me looking very bullishly at the market, and then we'd have to flip our bias and start focusing on buying the dip now instead of selling the tops, which we've been focused on for the last couple of months. So anyway, that's probably long enough for this video, and I'll see you guys all good on the next one.